Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good whatever, wherever the hell you may happen to be. I'm sorry we're late. We were talking about aliens. I'm not gonna dramatize that in any way. This is the big news that I've only just found out about roughly 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Good to know, right?
Yeah, big
So,
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So, hello everyone. Welcome back. It's been a minute. It's been a whole 2 weeks. Horrifying, right? And now we get to come back and meet all of these lovely people once again and see which one of them I randomly feel like killing first.
I bet it's me.
That'd be predictable. So,
Yeah, true.
before anything else,
He's already killed you up a few times. Yeah.
I know.
To be fair.
I can
He's
only
getting
beat the dead horse that is Holly for so long.
Yeah.
So, before we go any further, let's say hello to everyone and get ourselves all ready. So, as he happens to be closest to me on the screen at this particular moment in time, Billy, lead the way.
Hello, I am Billy, leading the way with introducing myself, playing Subil tonight. I've kind of forgotten how to do intros, so stick around for more interesting stuff after the intros. So, yeah.
Beautifully done. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Billy. Max, can you please do better?
Hi.
Thank you, Max.
No, there's
Off to a
too
good
much
start.
pressure now. No, I can't do it. No,
And
go
one
someone
job,
else.
one job. I set the bar low for you. Come on, man.
Oh shit. Hi, I'm Max. I play Jules. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm
welcome.
so thankful for you. You're something, Max. You're something. CJ, please improve. Please do better.
Hi everyone. I'm CJ. That's CJ Starry on most social media. My pronouns are they, them. I'm playing Kylan, whose pronouns, I almost said problems, whose pronouns are also they, them. We are just O for O, guys. If you find me at CJ Starry on Twitter, I have as a pin post my schedule, because otherwise we'll be here for the next hour while I go through my schedule. But I'm delighted to be here and can't wait to see what trouble our characters will get into this session. I almost said this semester, so again, going great.
I mean, we could turn it into a high school game, but it would get weird really fast, especially for me. Yeah.
Pass.
And of course, last but not least, speaking of high school drama and the hatred therein, hey Holly,
Hello.
best of a bad bunch. Come on, you can do it.
Got too much pressure. Hello, I am Holly. I play Violet. She has no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. So yeah, maybe I'll figure it out this week. Maybe not. Could just be a running joke that I'd never figure it out. Who knows? Who knows? I feel like that was one of my more decent intros, to be fair. So, yeah.
I mean, it was an intro.
Yeah.
It was.
Mine.
I think there wasn't as many umming and ahhing as there normally are, but you know.
We
Hey, I'll
might
take
have
it.
managed a passing grade between the four of us.
Look, don't mention grades, because this is going to drag me straight back to the high school game, and I will derail this entire campaign. I'll do it tomorrow.
Please don't.
Oh,
I had enough
And-
of high school the first time.
I don't want to go back.
I've just
And-
lost it from my memory.
Just left it.
Yeah.
In the realms of high schools, I'm Ben. I'm, well, the local cantankerous caretaker, constantly curtailing calamity with these
Ooh.
wonderful, wonderful people. So, with that said, let's jump onto an intro while I drink to forget my problems. Over to you, man, behind the scenes. Hello again, everyone. Thank you very much for holding with us during the intro. And welcome back, as I absolutely abolish the energy in the room by asking the wonderful people here for someone, anyone, I don't particularly care who, I may have already started the timer, can I have a recap of last week? Or 2 weeks ago?
I've lost my notebook, so not me.
Shotgun
I
up.
can help
I'm on travel, so I got no notes.
an
So-
amount of it, but my problem is that I make notes that Kylan would remember, and I wasn't in the first part of the episode.
That's absolutely fine by me. I'll tell you what, we'll split this. I'll even split the timer. I'll give, because he's the only one who didn't verbally object, Billy exactly 1 minute to recount everything from Sybil's point of view.
Oh,
And
God.
then we'll pass over to yourself, Kylan. If you both pull this off, you draw 4 cards instead of 3 when we come to the first draw of the game.
We've
But-
got this.
That's 100% dependent on you, Billy. Go.
Okay,
fire.
well, Billy, oh my God, Billy was in cabin in the ship while they were sailing away from a big fire that they definitely didn't cause. Dun dun wink wink. Sybil woke up in a dark room, and then there was some horrible dreams or horrible energy going on, some horrible vibes. He woke up with a knife, and there was blood, and there was definitely some not so pleasant stuff that was definitely in his bag. So he got very, very, very scared. Sybil then left his room to go upstairs. They made dock on the side of the lake, on the other side of the lake.
30 seconds.
Everyone, they met the big cheese of the town. So he went over and charmed him and said, "Oh, hey, man, yeah, no, I'll help out. We'll do a little for me if you can make us over to the barrel make the place that we need to go."
15.
And then we made it all the way to there, and then we bust in, and then I said hello, and then it was a very awkward encounter, and then we went downstairs, and there was some interaction, and then we were about to go into a secret tunnel to get where we need to go.
You had 5 seconds left.
And Sybil's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, Billy took an extra 10 seconds there, so
Oh,
Subil,
come
you've got
on.
50 seconds to work.
Oh, all right. So basically, Kylan met everybody when they were basically saying that I said basically so many times, they all wanted shoes. We knew that was bullshit. They didn't want shoes. They wanted to be smuggled. I had to pat everyone down, which was an incredibly awkward experience for everyone, and I had a gay panic. I've met everyone, which is Juliana, Violet, Sam, Jules, Sybil, who I believe is known as John. I've checked all of their belongings. There is a creepy bag with a dagger. We've locked it in the bottom of the ship. Everyone's got on the ship. It's been pretty much okay on that front, except for the fact that after everybody boarded the ship, Juliana pulled a gun on Jacob Moorhen apropos of nothing, and I would like to know what exactly is going on my ship. And I think that's basically, if brief, a general summary of what's happened.
That was exactly 50 seconds.
That's very good.
You can definitely have a card.
Thank
Well
you.
done, both. Well earned.
I think that's like the best recap we've ever had.
Oh, that's very good.
Well, there's only been 2 episodes this season, so let's not get
Nice teamwork, and I've just pulled a really fantastic card, so I'm very happy about that.
I have forgotten how to pull. How many cards do I need to pull for my thing?
3, now 4.
Do you want
3, now
us
4?
to?
Got it. All right.
This is my question that I have not asked prior to now, as the last time was my first time. Do we pull new cards at the beginning of every session, or do we
Yes,
keep our old
please.
deck? Okay, cool. So
New
I will
cards, beginning
mix
of
these
everyone.
back in. But but the first one I pulled was nice.
Ooh,
Ooh.
very nice.
I'm not upset about that at all.
I was a little bit worried that Billy was about to say he's completely forgotten how to pull cards, and I was going to ask, "Aren't you a magician?"
I don't know what you're talking about. You'll never know.
Nice. The sleight of hand. Ooh. I'm not upset about that either. I have a nice hand today, folks. Except for that one.
Well, let's make the most use of it as we can then. So, we jump back in. We find each of you currently crowded around small hold and living quarters of the ship you have yet to learn the name of. Each of you has piled yourself in. It's been a brisk, rough pat down for many of you, with awkward interactions all over the shop. However, every single one of those awkward interactions has been somewhat waylaid by the fact that at this particular moment you stand, each of you, towards the rear of this room, with Juliana at the head of you. A tri-barrel pistol pulled, cocked, and aimed directly at the temple of Jacob Moorhead. Another man who none of you have had more than a couple of words exchanged with, who appears to be traveling in the same direction as you. As we start, the reason for the gun being pulled is a complete unknown to every single one of you. And I will ask, first and foremost, if any of you have an immediate reaction to this. Kylan.
I believe my exact words were something along the lines of, whoa, 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 what's happening? Not on my ship. Somebody speak, somebody say words.
Well done. Have another card.
Thank you. And this is just, Kylan's not going to try to take anything from anyone, but is like, right there like, somebody say something. Now would be great. And that's Kylan's immediate reaction.
Anything for anyone else?
Subil will probably, have a look at Juliana and say, Juliana, could you please explain before we do anything that we shouldn't do, please? What's happening?
Juliana, without moving her attention from Moorhead in front of you, just very bluntly speaks, her thumb still held on the hammer of the gun and finger very much a hair's breadth from depressing the trigger. This man is Jacob Moorhead, higher than you on the inquisitorial wanted list for the corruption and killing of an entire town's worth of people using base, unsanctioned alchemy, the murder of women, of children, and anyone unfortunate enough to be there, including several inquisitorial agents.
Did you do that, Moorhen?
Moorhen stood as he is, kind of hands raised to either side of him, his bag full of various books and small items laid out on the table beside him, just keeps his hands raised. I can understand why you would believe that. However, I can tell you it is undeniably false. The Inquisition has their beliefs of me, and I fully understand them, and I understand why they exist. But, and before he can finish, Juliana clicks the second hammer on the gun, loading 2 barrels instead of 1. No lies, no deceit.
Juliana, we've got to hear him out. We don't know
Juliana, yeah.
how information has been skewed.
I mean, your Inquisition hates us, and you don't really know why. Honestly.
You can see her face kind of shifting. You can see this intense...
Juliana, if we think he's lying, off the boat, easy peasy. But until then...
Speak your piece. She hisses in his direction. For those of you who are, I hope, unaware of the crimes labelled onto me, I was a member of the church. I was a priest in training. I left. I became disillusioned with the way they did things. The Inquisition more than any other group. I studied at the Lakeview College. I returned to my hometown of Sparrowfall, and I traded my wares. I tried to bridge the gap between the church and the college where I lived. What you did was you poisoned people. Poisoned them against each other, and you took captives. You kidnapped children for experimentation. I've read the reports. No. What you did was you read the reports of a single man. correct me if I'm wrong, his name was Robert Cool. She just kind of twists her head, inclines her chin slightly upwards. Unless I am wrong, Robert Cool, after attacking that town, killing dozens of my friends, and nearly killing me, executed his teacher, kidnapped a child, and then smothered them to death with a pillow, and ever since has been in an inquisitorial holding cell somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Her face again twists.
But how'd you get all caught up in this then?
The man, Cool, he has a... He's set on me being the big villain of his story. He pushed everything back on me. A man, when last I was there, another Inquisitor arrived on the scene, Kanehurst. He arrived and he put the village to the torch. He burned it down and killed everyone there. And the Inquisition, in the way it does, was more interested in pointing the blame at an alchemist than admitting fault themselves. Again, you see Juliana's face twist. Kind of, you can see her chewing through his words in her head.
Juliana, be honest with me. Can you imagine Robert and Kanehurst doing this? And does it seem more likely that this guy with a bag of books in front of us, who's looking pretty terrified to me, does it seem more likely that he or they could do this?
Why are you still alive? Only because they burn a whole village. I just don't get why you're important.
He kind of tries to smile without still bearing the gun to his head in mind. To speak plainly and honestly, I'm a very learned individual. I left the church because of the way they worked, but also because of what I learned. I've spent my entire adult life digging into the lies and deceptions that the powers that be put across. I'm alive because I know how to stay alive and I know how to stay out of their sight. This, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting an underground channeling ring having an Inquisitor randomly turn up on one of their boats. It wasn't in my plan, I'll be honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a surprise to myself.
I mean, I can imagine. He kind of looks across the room at where Erna has stood behind everyone. I'm very tempted to ask for my coin back, I won't lie. If this goes south, well, at the very least, you'll be scrubbing me out of the floorboards for a while.
Yep, we'd like to avoid that. We have a record so far of people not dying on the ship, at least.
Well, he kind of turns his attention to Juliana, looking past the gun and locking eyes with her. Are you going to make these lovely people change that? I get the feeling if you were going to shoot me, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I also notice you're not wearing a seal.
Right, so she doesn't have to follow the rules anymore, so she can shoot you whenever. So, Juliana, do you want to shoot her now or later?
No, I feel like Jules would... No. Juliana, and just... everyone, we don't want anyone dying here. Okay? There's been plenty enough death, and I don't care who it is or where it is or why it is, but Juliana, you aren't part of the Inquisition anymore, so you don't need to hunt down their most wanted. And Jacob, you don't need to be boasting about how incredibly clever you are, because there is still a gun in front of your face. So please I've really had enough of all the death when it doesn't need to happen. So Juliana, can you please just put down the gun, and we'll, like Jules says, if you want to kill him later, fine. But like you said yourself, we need to stop killing people. So please.
On Jules' and kind of sideways glances John's recommendation. Why don't... It's going to take us a little while to get down this river. Why don't you use that time to decide?
Just see her kind of begin, again, keeping the pistol leveled. The whites of her knuckles showing as she just grips the handle. Sybil,
Yes.
as the person she trusts the most on the ship, I'm going to ask you to make a convince check, please, at difficulty 12. However, as both Kylan and Jules have aided, you can draw 2 additional cards.
Hell, okay. Convince check, you say, yeah?
Correct.
So how many cards? 3 total or 2?
3.
Fantastic. Well, that is a 10. Oh. 8. This is natural, not with extras. So 10, 8, or... Oh, is that 13? Okay. And before I get too excited, I'm just going to check Sybil's.
Minus 4.
Is it? Okay. Sorry.
The suspense is killing me, and it may kill Moorhead.
If you have any triggers to convince as well, it's a book or a poem. Sorry, but
I don't. Do I?
Sorry, made you check another thing.
It's all right. It's all right. Okay. So convince a skill. Sorry, yes, it is. So that's 2 plus 2, so 15 total. Sorry. Okay, we got there.
Well done. She, again, a couple of moments pass after the words leave your lips. Very well. She just loosens her grip on the gun and allows it to go slack, just from swinging on her finger for a moment, before spinning it around and just placing it back into the holster under her. Moorhen, you can see his mouth go to open, and she just points a singular finger at him. No. You don't get to talk. Speak when spoken to. And just twists in place and walks straight through the center of the group behind her. There's a natural shifting as she marches forwards. Even without the seal, that the weight of authority and the sheer fucking anger you can feel rolling off of her as she storms out of the ship and onto the top deck.
Glad we didn't have brains first thing.
Oh, yeah, let's not speak too soon. Oh my god. Okay.
How long did you say we're going to be here?
3 days?
Erna nods. We're traveling for a
Long
day.
3 days.
We're traveling for a day upriver where we'll be meeting a companion of mine at a small trading post called the Drop, and we'll be traveling from there for 2 days. So, just try not to kill each other. But those are bounds for being thrown off the ship. I'll just warn you now.
I think that's a fair rule to put in place. Considering.
It served me well so far. With that, she just
Right.
kind of places her hand on Kai's shoulder. I'll leave you with them, and I'll get us
Right.
moving.
Thank you, Erna.
She again also kind of turns, ducks a little bit, just to navigate her way up the stairs and out onto the top deck as well, leaving your small group of 6 just stood there in the living quarters.
Kylan
Moorhen.
stretches
Yeah.
a little. Looks at Moorhen.
Thank you.
I think you'll have to thank these two more than me. I don't think a complete stranger would have convinced her of much of anything in that moment.
Well, in which case, he turns first and foremost to yourself, Jules, smiles and offers a hand.
You seem like a clever guy. Do you have any sort of cards or dice? Because this is going to be a long day. And I want
have
to have
both.
fun. And it seems like you seem like a good player.
I will attest that I've won a game or two here or there. I must say, of all things, though, games of chance have never really played in my favour. So, if
Well,
anything,
mine either, but
I'm
it
probably the
does
best person for you to gamble with.
control my life. Nice. But we're both here on a boat going to fucking nowhere, so better be good.
Are you two dealing the rest of us in, or is this a private game?
Of course, everyone.
Well,
Mind you, I don't have that much money.
oh, that's a very dull way of gambling.
I
There are far
know.
more interesting.
However, I have bullets, and I line the bullets up, and
I think my I've had my interactions with bullets for the day.
no.
So-
These are just like chips. So at the end, when I sell some stuff, when I get to the new place, of course, you'll have your share.
Might be in poor taste, Jules. Just
Social?
Like-
Social
Are we-
gambling, perhaps?
Well, I was going to suggest exactly that. Lose a hand, tell a secret.
Oh my god, I thought you meant an actual hand.
I mean, again, I try to avoid that when possible. Speaking of, he turns to yourself, Subil. A pleasure to meet you.
Sybil's gonna just nod. Just Jacob, respectfully, I didn't save your life for you. Well, saved it because I don't want anyone getting killed. You are still a stranger. We're all on this boat together, quite literally, but you are still a stranger. And I'm very aware that if someone is pointing a gun at your face, let's say the urge to be honest can often be overruled by the urge to survive. So, we're not friends. Just don't make me regret saving your life. Okay?
I will do my utmost not to.
Well, seems to me the goal here is to get Mr. Moorhen to lose as many rounds as possible so we can get a few truths out of him and
He may not
decide what we
lose his
think of
life,
ourselves.
but he will lose some gold.
Sybil's just his face is gonna change and he's gonna go into character and go, I mean, whew, I used to be a gambler
Right.
in my day, so Jacob, let's see what you got. And
Let's
same
see
with
if I
Jules.
can rustle up something to drink. Maybe. Violet, are you going to play with us?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing else to do, and I don't think we all want to listen to me tune a violin for 3 days, so I've got nothing
Maybe
interesting to.
An hour at the most.
I'll wait till about day 2. It's not something we want to start the journey off of. It's.
Or drink 4. Either.
Do you play?
I do. Yes, I'm trying to
Wonderful.
kind of.
You must, please.
Not now. We'll
I think
wait
the
a bit.
atmosphere has been dropped somewhat abysmally into the ground here. Hopefully, some music will help lighten it.
I guess with that then, Violet will kind of just think for a second and be like, okay, all right, I'll see if I can play something somewhat happy, and then she'll take the violin out of the case and spend a minute trying to making sure that it's kind of like in tune, because violins out of tune are not good. And then
Kylan's gonna dig around to try and find a bottle of something at this point while Violet's playing.
You start pulling out your kits, and you make your way around, and very rapidly know of all the small little secrets that lie around on the ship. A fully stocked bar is indeed one of them. And when we say fully stocked, it's basically either whiskey or rum, whichever flavor takes your fancy. And as you dig around, Moorhen pops himself down on a chair besides the table. Yeah, this is mine now. Yeah.
I own this table.
And pulls a deck of cards out from his bag, and just begins shuffling them up, and turns to both Subil and Jules. So what are you thinking? A old-fashioned hand of poker? Maybe some Carnarvon snake charmers? What takes your fancy? What's your game of choice? If you say snap, I will slap.
Well, should probably pass the games again. Give us a list of games that would be played, and I'll see what I can do.
He sits back and just kind of, you see him mentally this is not a day for me talking, apparently. Mentally run through a checklist of various games. I think Snake Charmer. And with that, he begins dealing out specific cards and places a small run of numbers down on the table in front of him from 1 all the way to 13. With the Jack, Queen, and King topping them off. Saying the game is very, very simple. We will each be dealt 3 cards in hand every single turn. One person plays a card from their hand, and we must very simply charm the snake. Those who charms the snake the most wins. Easy.
How do you charm the snake?
Simply play the cards that have not been played.
Oh, okay.
Or replace those that have. Every time you empty your hand, you draw 3 more. But only 1 card per turn. And with that, Kylan, you return carrying a couple of bottles of anything that takes your fancy.
1 rum, 1 whiskey. Variety.
Perfect. And just 1 silly straw for both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no glasses. We chug like... I don't know.
The curly straws, yeah.
You place those down on the table with a handful of glasses, and as you kind of place them down, there's a small hand that just kind of reaches out, and you just see Sam take one and slide it across the table, looking very innocently over at Jules.
One of the bottles of booze? Kylan's also going to look at Jules.
Drop.
It's juice,
If
right?
you're good, I'll pour you one. But you have to be good.
I don't know what kind of child Sam is, but if he's not had any before, all you need to pour him's half a shot and he'll know better.
We'll lean over and be like, what I'll do is I'll mix it with some water, and then, after a while, swap it for just water, and the kid won't know a difference.
You're good at this. Better than I'd be, that's for sure.
I was a bartender for a long time. But
bartender.
Yeah.
As you say
exchange.
The cards are just being placed on the table in front of each of you. Moorhen chirps up, go quiet. That's 1 less thing you have to say if you lose now.
Well, I was a bartender is a bit of a cheap truth, if you ask me. But I still found it enjoyable.
1 second.
So who's first?
After the dealer.
Before anything else, I'm going to ask Violet, for a music check, please.
Don't want to. Okay.
Yeah.
Just so I remember,
Cool
because I
one.
haven't actually rolled a check in a while. We add the AV. Was it the rating?
Correct.
AV. Okay. Right. So
your,
that
your
is
AV is your rank plus your modifier.
okay.
Mhm.
So it's a 7 plus. Oh wow. 4 to music. So 11 total. I don't know what target you want me to hit, but you have an
I
11.
was purely seeing just how well you played.
Oh, 11, which is better than in real life, so that's fun. But yeah, an 11.
Please describe exactly what you would like to play, or
Well,
the tone of the music you would like to play.
it's definitely going to be upbeat, kind of going from the fact that we've just kind of had a somewhat almost witness of a murder. Violet will start playing a somewhat kind of upbeat, kind of jigged, to kind of get everyone's spirit up, but also it's kind of reminiscent to what you would hear in like a inn or a tavern as to where you would have these kind of things. So it's kind of just giving that kind of vibe to it, basically. I could have explained that in less words, but that's what you get.
Oh, that's fine. Perfect. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Music fills the room, and there is a distinct raising of spirits, not only emotionally, but spirits in small glasses that are raised upon the first hand being dealt. To your health.
To your health.
And on that, you deal your first hand. May I ask, everyone, in any particular order, will work through it, and I'm rapidly trying to remember if there is indeed there is a gambling skill. The target for any of you to beat is 12, but then we will track it by whoever does the least. And I should ask,
Target is 12.
Violet, are you dealing in?
Yeah, because I feel like if I'm just stood there playing music for how long this game goes on, I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be like that one friend who only knows how to play Wonderwall at a gig, really old, really quickly.
I mean, as you start and you begin playing, Sam comes over and sits next to you and just kind of looks at the cards, picks up a hand and just holds them up for you so you can see what's in them.
Okay, yeah. That was going to be my kind of card holder, but yeah, I will deal in. So yes, I'll also be joining.
As Violet plays Wonderwall on repeat.
Look, I said I could play. I didn't say I could play well.
Oh no, it's a beautiful rendition with an 11. It's
Yes, I know, right? You didn't even notice Wonderwall the first like 2 minutes. It's not until the chorus comes in you're like, oh damn.
Well, in which case, let's start then with, we'll say Jules.
Okay. I have to draw a card from the deck, yeah.
Correct, yeah. Keep in mind that 12, if you don't get 12, that doesn't mean you haven't failed, it just means Moorhen will have beaten you.
What am I plussing?
Your gambling skill, which if you do not have, is your cunning.
Okay. Then it's 9.
Doing well. It's clearly taking you a little bit of time just to get used to the new game.
I'm rusty. Just give me a moment.
Violet.
That was an 11, but my cunning is -2, so also a 9. Look, I'm good at music, okay? You don't need to be smart to be good at music.
You repeatedly try and steer Sam in the right direction as you play, and it gets to the point where Sam is very much playing his own game and kind of listening to you on an occasion.
At this point, Sam is picking my cards, so.
Kylan?
Let's have a look. Let's see what happens. That's a 13.
Wonderfully done. And Subil, or John.
Can I swap out for one of my fake cards?
You 100% can.
Twist cards, fake cards. Which one is in my hand?
The technically twist cards.
Twist cards. In which case, I'll swap out. And that's
If you care about the parts. Wow.
That's a 12.
In which case, You all play through your first hand, and the game goes back and forth a little bit. The errant, chaotic nature that is Sam, who has no idea how the game works and is just playing cards wherever seems right at that moment in time, completely throws any ability for anyone to actually gamble appropriately. And it ends up very much as a flip of the coin as the game ends and Sam stands triumphantly. I won! And Moorhen goes, no, unfortunately, what you've done there, Sam, is you've caused everyone to lose. So I'm not entirely sure how you've done that. I've played this game for the better part of 10 years, and I've never seen anyone do that, so congratulations.
I mean, I've known this kid for not that long, and he can surprise you with this kind of thing, so...
Very talented young man.
Really,
Proud of
really
you, Sam.
talented.
He just smiles and just kind of picks up the rest of the cards. He goes, what do I win?
I'll kind of play like a celebratory, is that the word? Yeah, I'll kind of feel like something like really
I'll
happily on the
I'll
thing.
pour something out of my skin or whatever, my water thing, and pour it in, and then not out of my skin, but like my skin flask thing. Yeah, sorry, that sounds really good. Blood, drink blood. No.
Well done, Sam.
And then I'll pour a tiny bit of like bourbon or whatever on it. And then I give it to Sam, and I go, right, that is because you've been such a good boy.
He just kind of puts the cards down, takes it.
How's it taste? I give Sam a straw. It'll be better with this.
And he takes a sip, slips back, and just starts this loop of trying to work out what his opinion on it actually is.
That's what we're drinking.
That's about right.
I mean, I had the same.
Sam,
I
as
had
you
the same
grow older-
reaction as well, Sam. So
Yeah,
don't worry.
that reaction never changes.
Just get used to it.
Do adults hate themselves?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of them do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The
You
only
don't have to,
explanation to
Sam.
drinking something like that.
Just like a moment.
Damn, Jules.
Look, I'm
Well,
playing
well,
happy
well.
music to
Spits
uplift
again.
uplift the mood. Don't bring it down again.
Sorry.
I can't change
Yeah.
it that often with the music. Okay, I only do so much.
You've got to finish Wonderwall before you move on to something else.
After this is Mad World.
Piano
That's when
Man
it
on.
starts going.
And as he kind of continues to work out his new feelings towards whatever this is, as far as he's concerned, Moorhen just kind of picks the deck up and starts reshuffling. So, Violet, I'm afraid I'm going to treat that as you losing.
That's fine. I kind of gathered it being the same. I kind of, at this point, I've probably stopped the song, and if I'm speaking, I don't want to like play and speak. So what? A secret because I lost? Was that the deal?
That's the game.
God, I mean, you know, I played music. Okay, when I was 5, I fell out of a tree and really badly broken my leg. And when I say fall, I mean I literally, like, the branch was not even that far off the ground. I get injured really easily. I'm not too sure why I'm here, but yeah, there you go.
Fair
Would-
enough.
You didn't
when
say
say-
it had. Didn't say it had to be a good secret. You just said it had to be a secret.
You got me there. Very much so. I mean, congratulations. You seem to have healed somewhat. And I'm sure from the height of you, it was a very tall tree.
Yeah.
Maybe
no,
a shrub?
Well, people say it was a shrub, but I'm sticking with my guns and saying it was a tree. So it makes me feel better about myself if I say it was a tree.
In which case, that's the truth we will continue to believe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing this, he says as he deals out another hand to everyone. Now, come on. The night is still young. Because it isn't here yet. He begins to play himself. And it's 12 again. I should probably pull from the deck that's on there, but I have one here, so I'm just going to use this. We'll go in the same order as last time. Jules, round 2.
Okay. Okay, so that's 12 as well.
Violet, as you are somewhat forced to play your own game now, Sam having retired into the corner, put the glass down, is now just kind of looking at it.
No, I think at this point, I think I've put the violin down as well, so I can focus on the game. With a cunning of -2, that's an 8. So I'm gonna get so many secrets spilled tonight. Unless someone, please put down a worse card than me.
You can cheat if you choose to.
I
But we'll get to
can.
the end before you have the option.
No, that there is the thing of no matter if I cheat, I'm probably still going to end up less than 12. So I'm just gonna stick with it.
Fair enough. Violet?
Alright, let's see where we get with me. Oh, I just maximized the 10 instead. There we go. It's a 6.
Oh. And finally, Subil.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
Could be.
No, that's a 10.
No. No, it wouldn't.
In which case, you play through another hand, and as you kind of play through and you go back and forth a little bit, you get the impression after a little while, Kylan, that Violet is starting to realize she's probably going to lose and just rapidly starts placing cards on top of yours at every opportunity. Not so much to make sure she wins, but to make sure you lose.
Well, that's how you play the game, right?
I think this time I would like to cheat it.
Okay.
So I need to. Do I need to make it 12, or do I just need to make?
You
it
just
above
need to
the...
beat the lowest score, which
Make
at this
above
point
an
is an
8.
8.
All right. That's a 10 then.
Wonderful. Violet, would you like to cheat?
Like, you're not good at this.
No.
No, I'll stick with it. I will stick with it. I'll stick
As
I
with
think
it.
Kylan cottons on to what you're doing, and it's
Yeah, no. Going with what Ben said, can I just say that it will be very obvious to everybody what Violet's trying to do. So I am more than happy if people cheat it. Stick with
You
it.
play your hand rather aggressively, and everyone on the table just kind of turns against you and just starts blocking you out in turn until the point there's no way for the game to continue and you have definitively lost. And at the point the Moorhen again gathers the cards and starts beginning to reshuffle.
Mhm.
Well, that's 2 for 2.
It
I
is
feel
2
bad,
for 2.
but you know
That would
was
be a
mean.
good secret now.
We're learning all about you at least.
If we find out you've broken an arm as well, I won't lie, I will become annoyed.
I'll kind of I'll have a quick look around. It's Juliana in earshot of the boat?
From what you understand, as you've been playing actually for the last hour or so, you felt the ship begin to move away, and
Okay.
there's now a gentle rocking to the vessel. You can occasionally feel the impact of the ship hitting against the sides of canal and footsteps moving around on the floor above you. Considering that everyone else, bar Juliana and Erna, are in this room with you,
Okay.
you assume her to be out of earshot.
Okay. Well,
But
I'll kind of, just to be on the kind of safe side, I'll kind of lean in a bit and just be like, okay, I do have somewhat of a good secret, but you all have to promise not to tell anybody. I need like solemn oaths from every single one of you.
Promise. It's not going to benefit me.
Jules
anyway.
is like half a bottle down at this point and is slightly slurring her words. Promise.
Subil is also very, pretending to be drunk. He hasn't actually touched any of his alcohol, but he's going to go, yeah, so, go on.
I'll kind of just sit there for a minute. You can kind of see that she doesn't want to say what she's about to say, but it's part of the game. And just be like, I've been kind of lying to Juliana. My parents we're not really traveling because of my dad's work. They're channelers, and we've been kind of trying to stay out of the Inquisition's way. So There we go. That's my big secret. If you
Well, your
ask me to,
parents are travelers, did you say?
yeah, adopted. They found me as a kid and kind of took me on. But yeah,
Right.
they're
Wait, which means you're a channeler. I'm confused.
no,
She's adopted. She's
I'm
adopted.
I'm adopted. Yes.
God, yeah. Right. Right.
Like me.
Oh.
Sam chimes up in the corner.
No.
So,
And how do you feel about that there, Sam? Are you happy about being adopted?
Yes.
Right answer. That is the right answer.
I was happy too. So my parents, they're great. See, we got have some of the bond over now, which I think is really good.
So if I'm adopted and you're adopted,
Mm-hmm.
does that mean you're my sister now?
It does, Sam.
It does. Yes. Yes.
Makes sense to me.
Yep. It makes total sense to me.
I've never had a sister.
You know what? I've never had a brother. This is gonna be great. This will be great.
He kind of picks himself up, leaves the glass, very much half drunk, where he left it, and just kind of comes over and sits next to Violet. And
Kylan takes a big old drink, just like, oh god, this is too wholesome.
Yeah, I'll kind of just if I don't have a jacket, but like I'll just kind of start acting like very like big sisterly towards him because now I have a younger brother, which is gonna be so much fun. But yeah, I'll kind of mostly look at Jules and Sib and just be like, do not tell Juliana, please.
I've already lost interest. I'm drinking again.
Okay, then I'll look directly at Sybil and be like, I'm scared to find out what will happen if she finds out. She may have already clocked on, but let's just keep this between us, please.
If she learns, it won't come from me. Don't worry about it.
Okay. And then I'll look at Jacob and be like, ask me to spill a secret again and you're not going to get anything else. I have a boring life apart from that.
he kind of gestures at the cards that he's already dealt back onto the table. It's beyond my control.
From behind a glass, Kylan goes, guess you better stop losing then.
Well, okay, how about next time I lose, I just take a shot?
Ooh.
Everyone amenable to that?
Now we're talking.
Alright, let's up the ante. Looks at Jules, shrugs, looks back at everyone else. Let's up the ante. Truth
I can
and a
drink
shot.
you all under the table anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Truth
she's
and
gonna
a
last
shot, except for Violet. Violet, you've just got to do a shot, unless you feel like spilling a truth after you've got a couple shots in you.
You never know. If I think of something else, I might spill it, but at this moment, I don't think I can top what I've just said.
No, that
I
was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
At which point?
Unless you choose to abstain, then two truths.
I'll kind of just right then and there just take a shot of something and just be like, let's go. I'm ready.
Violet's like the never have I ever person who's just like, oh, I'm not doing it enough. I'll just start drinking right now.
There's always one.
In which case, Morhin deals another hand, and the number to beat this time is...
Good.
Oh. That's Black Joker.
So
Oh.
anything.
Oh,
So
so I'm not
this
spilling
is
secrets
this is more
time.
just to see the level at which you all win. So please, same
If
order.
I also pull a Black
Jules.
Joker, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, I mean, if you also pull a Black Joker, it's going to get really interesting. So let's find out.
Ace. Isn't that lowest?
Yeah.
It's a
Isn't it?
1.
Yeah.
So it's not the lowest, but it's a 1. It does mean of everyone else here, you will definitely be losing, but it's not quite an auto fail, which is the Black Joker. Violet.
Please do not be a Black Joker. Oh, it's a 2, but then minus my 2.
Those.
I don't know. You can count
Minus
that as
1.
you.
Or 0.
Alright.
I love life right now.
Doing well. Kylan
7. It's a low scoring round.
and Sybil.
9.
you deal through, and whereas it does get to a point where it's very hard to tell who's going to lose between Jacob and Violet, you get to a moment where you can see Violet just staring at the bottle as the last hand comes up. And Moorhen just makes... The impression you get, mostly Subil, is that he froze the game. He just actively makes very poor decisions to the point there's no way for him to do anything but lose. And that's a shame. I mean, I will admit I'm not much of a drinker, but hey.
Well, you can always give us 2 truths. Oh, never mind.
Nope, he's down
Yeah,
it.
with it.
Just one.
Truth that is, then.
Well, of the many, many secrets boiling in my brain, I feel it is only fair for those who do not know me. Why don't you simply ask me a question?
Right.
I'd say,
Don't ask me. I can think about it. What's your favorite color?
Yeah, that's
That
the
would be-
And
way
if it's not pink, I'm just
That would be a
disappointed.
waste.
You got
Silver.
anything, Sybil?
Does that count as the
I mean,
truth?
John.
Or...
no, I'll just take
Okay,
that.
good. Thank you.
How about you,
Sybil,
John?
John?
Is this for asking you a question, or is this?
This is asking me a question, my friend.
I've got
Oh,
one.
sorry, acquaintance.
Acquaintance. For now, we'll see. Why? Why did you become an alchemist?
It's a very good question. Now, it's a question that has a very long answer. So, if you have the time, I can give you an abridged version or a proper version. What would your preference be?
I'm prone to long stories, but I don't know about my associates here.
I mean,
Looking
we
at
have
you.
3 days on this boat, and if we get bored halfway through, I can put out another jiggy, maybe. I don't know.
I'm happy to hear it. I don't even know what's involved in becoming an alchemist, really.
Yeah, to be fair, it is interesting.
A lot of
so.
very boring books. But, fair game for me to say, okay. So, I was born... There we are, we'll fire way back for you. I was born on an island, may have heard of it, Mentagoin Island, in the middle of the Central Sea. And therein I was raised as the son of a priest. Inducted into the church, not so much by a choice, but because it was the proper thing to do in my station, as it were. And during my time there, I found a lot of interesting things lurked behind the scenes on that island, many of which were the unfortunate passing of my own mother at a quite young age, unfortunately. And many of those things, and I will keep those a mystery, as you asked, of course, for a very specific secret, and those can remain mine for the time being, led me to, as I say, lose my interest in the church and its ways, mostly due to lies they would continuously peddle to anyone who would be foolish enough to listen to them. So I decided to go the route of education, and the alchemist seemed the logical step. So I left my home, I travelled to Faith, and it was a curious conversation when I applied. They don't tend to get many from the church arriving at their doors, least of all many from the church who they didn't implicitly expect were there to sabotage, lie, or destroy what they'd built. So it took me a year or two of simply trying to get through the door before I did. And therein I undertook my studies, and I learnt a lot more of the truth of things, of how we work, how the universe around us works, and of the things that came before, and I hope will come after. Essentially, I did it to expand my own understanding of where we are, and what we as people and as humans can be. We are infinitely more than what we are told we can be. We are an endless font of possibility, and I believe that alchemy helps us become what we were meant to be. So, I'd say my answer to why did I become an alchemist would be to help me uncover the secrets of life, of love, and of the universe.
Cheers.
I mean, that's just put more questions into my head than answers, but I guess we'll wait until the next time you maybe lose and we'll find out more.
I think it's kind of interesting, sweet almost, that alchemy can be touted as so dangerous, but most of it's just a bunch of nerds reading books.
I mean, there is definitively that. I have never met more less interesting people than when I started at the college.
I guess anything's
Maybe.
dangerous in the wrong hands.
Therein lies the absolute truth.
My question, though, is alchemy more dangerous in those hands that are not that interesting people, or the more interesting characters?
I would say that the boring person does the most to be less boring.
Interesting. Well, thank you,
And with
Jake.
you're more than welcome. I intend to not have to spill anything else, he says as he begins dealing another hand, as much as he continues. Assuming everyone's happy to keep playing. I imagine we have at least a few more hours before we arrive where we should be.
Oh, more than a few hours, but at least a few more hours before we should all get thinking about resting a little bit, perhaps.
I haven't thought about rest in a good few weeks, so that would be pleasant.
We've got that stop after about a day, and then another 2 days, so if there's anywhere you can get any rest, I hope it's on the boat.
In which case, he plays out another hand.
Then,
And
I was going to say, is there any chance Jules could get up and go find the toilet?
Oh, definitely.
And we'll miss the go.
Absolutely fine. You pick yourself up and stumble around the ship looking for anywhere, really.
I
Is there a head? I'm
mainly
assuming
want to
there
use
is.
it as... I was going to say I mainly want to use it as an excuse to see what's at the bottom of Sybil's bag. That is
which
in the
case?
hold at the moment.
We will come back
It's
to you in a
locked.
moment.
That doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily bar you, but it's locked.
I am just going to say, for the record, whatever card I pick out next, I'm going to say that Violet let Sam pick it. They're going to do like the older sister and younger sibling playing a game together. So if it turns out to tell out the truth, it's Sam's fault.
Okay.
That's quite cute.
Well, we will, in which case, as you head off, Jules, kind of pick yourself up, step out of the room, and compose yourself. And start going on your own little merry way as the next hand.
It's more of a drunkenly interest.
Go for it.
So it's more like...
Yeah, I'm fine with that. No.
Okay. She's like, what was at the bottom of it? I'll find out.
I can fully imagine, like, halfway through Jacob Morton's story, just Jules at the side going,
Well, that's exactly what I did. Got distracted. It's a long story.
And she
for
thinks
Jules.
she's being subtle as well. She's just like,
Like, stand up. I'm going to the toilet.
and we're just like,
Okay.
okay.
Cool.
We're not telling them we're going to the bag.
We're not going to have a look. We're not.
Oh,
I feel I should ask you for a deception check.
Yeah, go on, man.
Go for it. Please flip deceive for me. You can cheat this.
no. it's not
Well, I drew a 13.
Oh.
Would it be plus charm? If I don't
The
have
plus,
deceive?
plus cunning.
Deceive? Yeah. Deceive is its own thing if you've got any ranks in it.
No, I haven't. Okay, then that'll be a 15. Because I drew a 13 plus 2, can I?
You pick yourself up, and without really saying anything until you're halfway out the door, you go, "Where's the toilet?"
Kylan's like 3 doors down on the left.
2 doors down on the right, got it.
And you blunder off into the distance.
God, I hope she doesn't piss in the boiler room.
We're not going to see her again, let's be honest.
I hope that's not true.
We'll probably see her tomorrow morning. She won't be happy with any loud
Passed out
noises.
on the toilet, just like.
Doing your best Elvis impersonation.
We've all been there. It's fine.
In which,
Well-
as you head off, the last hand is dealt, and we'll see how that goes before we go back to Jules. Moorhen deals his cards, and number to beat today is 13.
Jeez, Moorhen.
Trying to think of a truth to tell
I'm
now.
good at this game.
He's using all his good cards.
Yeah.
So learned.
I think
In the
he's
ways
rigged
of
this.
cheating.
We will start as Jules has vanished, or more precisely, Violet, as you try to kind of hand the card to Sam
Yeah.
so he can start playing for you, you realize he's just kind of scouted very quietly around the other side of the table and is sat on the floor to the point where you can just see about the top of his head behind Jules's cards.
Okay.
That's good.
You know what?
Yep.
Do we need to roll for.
Sam gets a 6.
Nice.
Okay, so beating a 6, right? Cool.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta do. Okay. Me next then?
Yeah.
Hold on, maths. I got a 7. So I'm beaten by.
Ooh.
I got 9. 9 minus a 1.
You're
No,
beating the
9
child.
minus 2.
Well done, Kylan.
12.
And Sybil/John.
Sybil/John. That's a 6.
Ooh.
I feel I need to ask a very important question directly to you, Sybil. As you're playing and you realize that Sam is violently barreling towards loss, do you throw the game?
I do. I do. Of course.
The game continues quite naturally for a while, and again, Sam adopts the same mentality as he did in the first round, which was rules don't matter if you're having fun, and just keeps slapping cards down at random to the point where he just takes all 3 and puts them on one card at one point, just assuming, well, I need a 9, and I've got a 5, a 2, and a 5. None of you really question where the additional 5 has come from, and he just plays them all at once. Sybil, you step in and just make sure to quietly guide Sam in the right direction until he doesn't lose. But in doing so, cause yourself to.
Mhm.
There's another small celebration as Sam just goes, I think
still
Nicely
going.
done, Sam.
Yes!
Nicely done.
Yes! Start clapping for Sam.
Moorhen himself just reaches over and slaps Sam on the back very gently before gathering the cards up. Well, Sybil, John.
Sybil/John. Well, I mean, Jacob, I liked your method. How about this? Well, I mean, I don't think anyone here other than Sam has known me much more than a day, a week, really. So, either of you, if you have any questions for me.
Well, I'll turn to my new friend, he says, and just gestures over to Kylan. I'm fairly sure if we'd gone another hand, I would have lost. So, I'll allow you to ask the question.
I don't know. I might have something, but Violet, have you got anything?
I mean, kind of. It may definitely bring down the mood, but it is something I've been wondering, and I'll kind of just turn directly to Subil and just be like, so the night you guys found me on the boat, some strange things happened. The strange thing happened. Did you see strange things as well, or was it just maybe sickness? I'm really hoping I wasn't the only person who saw something.
Well, I won't count that as a secret, because it's no secret that strange things are recurring. And I am sorry to say that they may continue occurring. Together, if we work together, we might get through it, but this is a strange world. And over the last couple of weeks, I've definitely learned it's much stranger than any of us can really, think, comprehend. So yeah, I saw some strange things.
Okay, so I wasn't just going completely around the bend then. That's nice to know.
What you said that doesn't count as a truth.
Exactly. What have you got for me, Kylan? Go on.
Where the hell did you get that bag?
The bag. Oh. You know, I couldn't even tell you. Like I say, it's been a strange couple of weeks. We've been here, we've been there, we've been with many different folks from all over. And a lot of what I started with, or rather started my little journey, you could call it, I haven't got any more. But I guess the bag is all I've really got. Got these baggy clothes, you know. I've got shaggy hair, and I've got a random bag with some random stuff in it. Happy?
No. Doesn't answer where it came from. Doesn't answer.
My honest.
Who gave it to you, or if you don't know, you can just tell me you don't know.
I don't know.
I, CJ the player, believe, but I would like to do some sort of, gosh, what's the, it's like insight, but we don't have insight here.
Scrutiny.
Scrutiny. I'd like to do a scrutiny check if that's alright.
You may.
I think that's the ace is a 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's my TN? See if it's worth cheating.
I would simply say, are you happy with the result you've got? Because unfortunately, giving you a TN would assume that he is lying. Right.
That's fair. I'm gonna say, I think this is a little bit of meta, but I'm gonna say I'm happy with it because I, CJ the player, believe this.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt compelled to do a scrutiny check because I think Kylan's not necessarily sure. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, I wasn't here. But that would put me at a 4, I think, so.
There doesn't seem to be any deception to what he's saying to you whatsoever. His face hasn't shifted beyond the normal expressions he's making. His tone hasn't altered.
He shrugged.
Genuinely doesn't seem to remember.
They shrug and they're just like, well, I'll take your word for it.
Sorry, I couldn't give you a more interesting answer, I suppose.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where I got the bag that I'm carrying around is actually a pretty interesting answer.
Hell, did you see us walk in? It doesn't... I don't think we've really... Kylan, does it seem like this group knows what's going on much of the time?
I definitely don't know what's going on. I found them on a boat. I don't know why I'm here.
Not knowing what's going on is the human condition.
We are conditioned to not know anything. Excuse me.
All right, well, and Kylan's gonna like stand up and like down the rest of their drink. It's my job to make sure everyone on the boat, which has a name that I've forgotten. It's my job to make sure everyone on our boat is happy. So I think I've got a couple of people to check up on. 2 people. Well, Erna can take care of herself. I have someone to check up on. Excuse me for a moment. And it's going to see themselves out.
As you step from the room, another room away, Jules, you have stumbled your way through the ship to where you saw Kylan and Subil stepping.
Big stuff.
Now, the only particular issue that you run into as you look into the room is that there doesn't seem to be any discernible space for a safe or a lockbox or anything else for that matter as you just stare around. They definitely came in here though.
So it's a room with nothing in it.
It seems to just be a small storage cupboard. You've got a table covered in cook's tools and other various small kind of accoutrement of, food. A small couple of barrels of biscuits and other various things to nibble on. And on the excuse me, the far end of the hall, or the far end of the room, a bar fully stocked with various drinks. Well, a few less drinks now.
Jules is going to walk past, nibble on some of the food, pick up a bottle, and scan the room for scuff marks on the walls. Because when it came to bars and stuff like that, pretty much every bar that I worked in had a secret door or whatever compartment in case of gangs or whatever crashing place or police, etc.
With that knowledge in place, I will ask you, in which case, for a notice check, and call it 48.
8.
Simply because of aforementioned knowledge.
Well, it is an 8.
You spend a couple of moments looking around the entirety of the room, and you notice no scuff marks, no immediate noticeable effects of a hidden compartment. And as you kind of stood there staring at the bar, having almost given up on the concept of finding anything and instead deciding on which drink you'd like to take, you pick up one bottle, put it down, pick up another bottle, change your mind. And as you put that bottle down, you see just behind the glasses is a small depression with a little switch attached.
Press.
You press, you miss, you try again, and on the third one, you actually get the button. And there's as the back of the bar clicks and a latch loosens and just drops a false bottom out of the way, revealing a small barred compartment. And on the inside, you can see Sybil's bag and a few other bits and pieces, including a small kind of semi-transparent box with a few green vials placed into them.
So there's bars in front of it that means it can't take anything out.
There are bars and a small lock on the bars.
So how large are these bars? Can I fit my arm in it? Because all I want to know is what's in the bag.
Unfortunately,
I don't give a shit about the lock. I'm like,
not your entire arm. No, you could probably fit a couple of fingers through, but not anything further than your knuckle. And
let's take a
typically irritatingly,
and I take another one.
Yeah.
And I just start shoveling in the lock.
Okay, I'm going to ask you for, I'm going to say pickpocket. It's either that or engineering, but engineering seems cruel at this point. If not, oh wait, there is. I don't know why I didn't say lock picking because it's right there. Let's go with lock picking. Weirdly, however, I'm going to ask you to flip 2 cards and take the worst.
2 cards and take the worst. Can I cheat at all?
Not in this condition.
Shit. 2 cards and take the worst. So Jack and a 6. Okay. So a Jack.
A Jack
right,
is
my
your...
bobby pins. No.
I was going to say a Jack is your worst because that's still an 11.
Oh. Then the 6 is your worst.
Yeah.
And then the 6 is my worst. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, Joker. It was a Joker.
I was sure that. Oh, it's a Joker.
Jack.
Oh.
What Joker was it?
Black Joker.
Oh yeah, that takes precedence over everything else.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So you get the worst possible result.
How can it be worse? I took
I
two
can think of a few
pennies.
ways.
Don't.
Don't push it, please.
Please don't.
You stand there and you start just clumsily clicking through and trying to make the lock break and bend to your will at the point where you actively almost give up on using the bobby pins and just stare at it, trying to make it
Like
unlock.
chewing on it.
At one point, you've gotten one of the bobby pins stuck in place, and you just beat your thumb against it for a moment. And on the third tap, you push a little bit too hard and cause the bobby pin to actually pierce the skin of your thumb.
Motherfucker. Can I make an attack on this lock?
Wow. Give me a moment.
I'm
You
so
pull your
glad I had
hand
myself
back.
muted. I snorted when you said that.
You pull your thumb back and just turn to punch the lock out of just sheer frustration. And as you do, you just click your eye onto the bobby pin as you can see your own blood slowly circling the bobby pin and sliding down. Gravity itself should make it drop. Instead, it very slowly and purposefully snakes its way along the bobby pin. And you just feel it, literally feel this small extension of yourself place itself into the lock. There's a pulsation to your thumb where the impact of the bobby pin pierced the skin and drew the initial few droplets. And this slow, chilling feeling spreading across your thumb. You can feel the cold making its way onto your palm and just up your wrist. And even as you look at your hand, you pour alcohol on it, hoping something will change.
Disinfect it, like.
You pour it onto there, and all you see as it touches your skin is most of it starts to just roll off the other side, and there's this small frosting of the whiskey as it just hits your hand and freezes in place. You just kind of stand there and stare at it for a moment, feeling it chip and snap and break as you just move your hand naturally, causing this very, very thin sheet of frozen alcohol to break. And then there is a small, subtle as the door slides open. You just feel this creaking as the lock gives way. And with it, the door to the cell opens. And the bag sits in front of you.
How much of the bottle do I have left?
Not enough. About half a bottle.
Well, I don't have any. I have none left in the bottle now.
You drown
drank it
down
all.
that. Steady yourself. The free bags
I'm gonna
coalesce
have
into
to have a look
singular bag.
Yeah. I'm still looking at this bag. This bag has. I take the bag out, of course, and I put it on the table, and I'm pacing around it, and I'm thinking if I should open it.
You walk around, just circling the bag for a few moments. And Kylan, I feel I need to ask you the question of who you were going to see.
Juliana.
Okay. As you're pacing around, you hear footsteps
Sorry,
in the
mate.
corridor. You hear footsteps in this corridor outside, growing closer and closer, closer, before starting to ascend the stairwell, pulling away from you.
Oh, can I open the door and see who is it?
Mm-hmm. You swing the door open, and Kylan, you become aware that you hear a door at the bottom of the stairs as you kind of pass parallel to it. You just
That would
hear it
pique
swing
my
open.
interest because, as far as I know, Juliana's up there, Ernest driving the ship.
Mhm.
Jules is in the head, and everyone else is. So, yeah, hearing a door open, Kylan's gonna be like. And kind of take a few
Kylan,
steps
is
back
that-
down.
Kylan, is that you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
I
kind of
need some
finishes
help.
rushing down the hill. Well, yeah, that's definitely
So,
not where you should be
what-
releasing
what-
yourself for one thing.
Right. So I went for a pee, and then what happened is I couldn't get the bag out of my head. Sybil's bag out of my head.
Right.
I had to know what's at the bottom of it.
So you've got the
so-
bag out then.
And then I opened the door, and the bag is on the table.
How the hell did you get past the lock?
That's another thing. I can't tell if I'm just that good or I'm not.
You know, I don't know a lot about any of this stuff, so I may be making wild accusations here, but I feel like the bag wanted you to have it, and I'm not okay with that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Alright, so, and it's gonna like
You open the
go
bag,
in
please.
and go in and close the door behind them.
Mhm.
No, I'm
You
not
step
touching
in.
that.
Close the door behind you, and as you do, you kind of say what you say as you just see your breath mist in front of you.
Oh, I am definitely not touching that.
Same with yourself, Goose.
Alan, I've got some bad news. Usually, when it gets cold like that, someone is channeling.
Okay, but the only channeler here is Sam.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, alright, look. And he's just gonna kind of start searching through stuff. I'm sure I've got like burlap or something in this area, some sort of cloth that we use to cover things. He's gonna
Easily
toss it at Jules. Look, obviously you got it out. Wrap it in that, put it back in.
No,
Why not?
I've got to know.
No, you
I've got
don't.
to know.
There are some
I
things that
do.
are better not
What can
knowing.
it could be all. I'm not walking around with not knowing what's in that bag.
I mean, there's a bloody knife and some costumes, and it makes things go spooky, and that's enough for me.
There's a knock at the door.
I'm behind Colin.
Opens the door.
You twist the handle and swing it open, and on the other side, there is only black.
So just
And
say
that
black.
is where we're going to go for a quick break, and we'll return in 10 minutes. Thank you. See you shortly. Hey, guess what? It's us again. Bet you weren't expecting that. Right. Let's hop straight back into it. Subil. You sit with Violet to your side, Sam still kind of fiddling through the cards at this point, trying actively just to place them all out in a lovely little row of numbers, and Moorhen really just kind of leant over the table at this point, asking Violet just a couple of questions over very minor things, asking to begin with where you got your violin. It's beautifully made, genuinely just curious.
It's a going away gift for my parents before I went off on my journey. They saved up for ages to buy it for me. So I'm kind of a bit really protective over it.
It's, as I say, beautifully made. You mentioned your parents were channelers. In what way? What could they do?
Nothing major. Just my mother was. She was good with making plants grow. She would we could get flowers to grow like that and then sell them off to make the money. Dad was somewhat. Well, I don't know. I never really saw my father do any channeling, but I know that he was one. He would say, but he never did it around me. So I'm not. I couldn't really tell you what his ability was. I just saw him paint a lot.
Wow. Now you have a question for him next time you see.
Yes. Yeah. Mm.
What have you? Obviously, channelers aren't exactly known for their ability to have children, so I imagine, as you said, adopted. So do you have any channeling ability yourself?
Not that I'm aware of. I know that sometimes it can manifest later in other people than it does some. As of right now, I have nothing, and I don't have any reason to believe that I do have any abilities, but
Oh, there's a lie in what you said there, Violet.
there is.
You have many things. You have an acute ear for music, a severe talent with a bow. To say you have nothing is to deprive yourself of all that you are. So, at least when you're in my company, be sure not to say stuff like that.
I will.
Dishonor to yourself.
I will remember it. Remember that. What was it? Jacob, you said. Sorry, I'm bad with names at the moment.
Jacob Moorhen, yes.
No, I will remember that, Jacob.
Jake to my friends.
Do we classify yourself, or would you prefer Jacob?
We have drunk together, we have played games together, and we have exchanged secrets together. If that is not the foundation of a core friendship, I don't know what is.
Then I will remember that, then, Jake. Thank you.
You're more than welcome, Violet. As the conversation continues, Subil, you become dimly aware of the quiet. As you sit there and kind of absent-mindedly watch them observe Sam. A few moments more pass, and the sounds of their voices bleed and fade away. The shuffling of cards on the wooden table becomes louder. You can hear the frayed edges of these heavily played cards catching on the small grooves of the table. You can almost taste the parting skin from Sam's fingers as he just moves one card over to the next, as microcosms of himself just fall away. You can smell iron. You can taste the air. And you're cold. You are so very cold. And then there is silence. Lips move and not a sound leaves them. The sounds of cards on tables are gone. There is only silence. And the feeling that should you close your eyes, You don't know what would await you on the other side of your islands.
Sybil is going to, well, first look around the room, just to see if there's anything off and miss where he is.
You glance around, and the room is there, as present as any other. There's nothing.
Just going to get up from the table and say to everyone around, excuse me, I'm going to go and get some fresh air for a little moment. And he's going to walk in the same direction as where he left his bag.
Violet, for you, Sybil stands and he leaves. Not a word leaves him.
Kind of just, I guess maybe just watch him and kind of be very intrigued and very much, I think Jacob could see this very much a look of, do I want to follow or do I want to stay on her face.
Jacob kind of catches your expression and looks over. Is he okay?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you either way. I've known him for 2 days, and I don't know how to read him, or any of them.
There's something off about that man.
Yeah, you're telling me. I met them on a boat out of South. I'm not sure exactly why they were on a boat, but I have my suspicions.
Mohan just kind of leans back and places his hands on his knees, glances down the corridor. You kind of follow his gaze, and you can just see Sybil walking further away until he takes a small left-hand turn to go to the side of the stairs, and just disappears from view as the corridor bends in that direction. Sybil, you take a few more steps forward, and the door that leads into the room is just in front of you, closed. You can't hear your own footsteps. It's almost as if walking through a dream.
I'm going to take a deep breath and push the door open.
The air crystallizes in your mouth and your throat as you breathe, and you can feel it rubbing against the inside of your throat. Micro needles running along the inside of you. You reach out, you grip the handle. On the other side, Kylan, you swing the door open, and there is just black. Non-existence, oblivion, lingering on the other side of that door.
Supposed to be the rest of the ship.
Say
He's
that.
gonna look over at Jules. You still want to open that bag?
Yeah. I mean, we got nothing else to do. Oh, we can't go through that. I'm not going in the darkness.
We can put the bag back. We can put the bag back. If we put it back, maybe it'll leave
That's
us
right.
alone.
Maybe it's angry. Maybe we just need to put the bag back.
Right. And then just kind of again stuffs the material, the cloth towards Jules. Pick it up with this and put it back in the hold.
I'm not touching it.
You touched it to bring it out. Did it bring itself out?
It hurt my thumb.
The air is becoming colder.
I'm slurring a lot of my words, by the way.
Kylan just goes, and we'll try to grab it with material out of the perhaps misaligned notion that if they don't touch it directly, it'll be okay.
You just wrap your hands in the burlap, kind of pick up the bag, and it has an unfathomable weight to it.
It's
the point
a little
you
heavy.
can't actually move it.
You don't feel like helping me out with? I can't pick it up. How did you get it here?
It was quite light when I moved it.
Oh, I don't like any of this. Just on the record, I don't like any of this.
I don't either. I think we have to have a look.
Your breath continues to mist in front of you. You can feel the moisture on your eyes freezing.
All right, well,
There's
open it up then.
Do you have a weapon on you?
Yeah, of course I have a weapon on me.
Okay, just ready yourself.
Okay. Pulls out, a pocket pistol. Like, I don't know why I'm gonna be
With the
shooting
empty
a bag.
bottle. With the empty bottle, I'm gonna smash it on the table as well, and I have like a glass bottle
Shiv.
knife. Shiv.
You
Right.
smash the bottle, you pull the pistol, and both are deathly cold. The metal on the pistol, the same as licking a frozen pole. You
Gonna,
feel your
like-
fingers stick to it.
Set it down, try to pull their, like, sleeve over and pick it back up.
You very carefully wrap it around, and same with yourself, Jules. You smash the bottle, you're holding it there, and you can feel the depth of the chill starting to cause the bottle to crack. You can hear it. You can hear the pressure in the air building. And more so than anything at this point, you can feel the air beginning to turn to ice in your lungs.
I don't think
I'm
I
opening
do.
in this bag and ready to shank whatever's at the bottom of it.
You grab the bag and pull it open, and there is this burst of warmth, this sensation of heat that emanates out from the open and rushes over you, this sensation of pleasure. And your hand just shakes slightly at the touch. You can feel that heat emanating from it and through you. The air in your lungs turns normal again. You can feel the warmth of it. You can smell this sickly sweet scent on the air. And you are just driven. You place your hand in deeper and you move small items from it. You pull mask, a disguise kit, some changes of clothes, some makeup kit out of the way. Each and every one of them you can see just layering at the top of it this thin yet syrupy red. This beautiful splash of crimson that runs eagerly out from the bag and layers over everything. And as you feel your fingers run across it, you have this overwhelming urge to just taste it. Kylan, you stand beside Jules, watching as this very nervous initial state turns into almost rapturous movement.
Am I still cold, or am I also warm from this?
As you get closer to it, if you're stood directly next to it, you can feel the warmth emanating from it, but only from it.
Okay, Jules, I don't know if you should continue rooting around through that. That's probably not the right word. Maybe it is. I don't know. Please step away from the bag.
And stop. That's what I'm gonna say.
What do you mean you can't?
You pull up
He's
that.
gonna try to pull Jules away.
As your hand rests on Jules' shoulder, Jules, as you're moving, your hand in turn rests on the handle of a knife, almost drawn to it. Jules, can you make me a willpower check, please, at difficulty 10?
10.
10.
Okay, can I challenge this?
You can cheat, yeah.
So cheat or whatever. So draw a card and I can cheat if it's not good.
Yeah.
Oh, we're fine anyway. It's a 12 plus. What am I adding?
Your willpower score.
Okay, I think I've got good willpower actually.
It'll be one of your derived aspects.
Yeah, I'm fine. That's 16.
You feel the blade, and you just have no compulsion to take it. It doesn't so much feel like you've reached for it, more like it was put in your hand. And just on the other side of it, as you kind of let go, stretch your fingers out, you feel your fingertips brush against something smooth just on the other side of it. Supple. Warm.
What is it? What have you found?
Something really warm in here. It's also tried to put a knife in my hand, and I said no. So, right.
Thank you for not stabbing me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I'm gonna be honest. Apparently, it went through my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not one to stab people. I'm more of a shooter, personally. I'm a shooter person.
You're a shooter person. Should we pull the thing out?
The bag.
Right, you are. Okay, no, that's where I call it.
As your hand is in there, you feel the entire bag expand and contract.
Okay, I'm gonna have to step away from the bag.
You pull your hand free, and that same syrupy substance, that blood, just runs down your wrists, dripping from your hand and the bag.
No.
The pulse increases in speed.
Kylan's gonna turn around and press their gun into Jules's hand. Don't be close enough for me to stab you. I'm not letting a stupid bag tell people to stab me with a knife, and is gonna press that gun into Jules's hand and go shove their hand in the bag.
Jules, you take the gun and immediately, Kylan, you plunge your hand in, feeling the
knowing that it's gonna try and eat my soul or try and whatever. At any sign of a struggle or a quick movement, I am going to yank Kylan by the scruff of their neck to kind of like reach back.
Oh, there is no struggle. It's almost as if the bag offers up its prize to you. Your hand barely passes through before you feel your fingertips run across this soft, warm surface. About the size of your own palm. You grip it, feel it kind of crumple into itself, roll, and squelching as you pull it free. You realize you're holding a roll of skin. You open your hand and it just slops freely and drops to the table. And lying there, perfectly carved, perfectly sliced free of its housing, a face smiles back at you. You see freckles running below the place where its eyes should be. You see what once were smiling lips, and a small button nose, and even hanging loosely from the tips of its forehead, you see slick strands of ginger hair. Jules, you know that face. You know what Pele looked like. It's almost as if she's smiling at you. And as you both stare at it, hands snap onto your shoulders, and you feel something move between the two of you, and a whisper hisses through your ears and plants itself deep into the recesses of your mind. Do you see?
Do you what?
See. There is a presence between you. You can feel it there. You can somewhat see it through the periphery of your vision. There's black haze, the shadow of a thing that exists beyond yourselves. And you can feel its joy at you finding its art.
I see your face, you non-corporeal shit. What is that?
Shoot it.
What? You've got the gun, Jules.
Alright, then I hand it to Kylan and whip out my gun and just start firing in a circular motion.
You
Ooh.
pull your gun free, twist, point, go to click. As you see Subil standing between both of you, your guns raised to his skull, your thumbs on the trigger. I need both of you to pass an initiative check of 10 right now.
I think I'll have it, but I've got to look at my initiative.
I think I might use a card.
I'm gonna cheat. Yeah, because I forgot my initiative's not so great.
No, my initiative's amazing. I hope you're not going to cheat.
I've got an 11.
That is 17.
You both stop yourselves. The guns hanging loosely in your hands. Well, white-knuckled, actually. The barrels both squarely pointed not so much at Subil, but implanted into his skull. You can see the depressions of his skin where the barrels are pushed straight into them. Half a second more, and he would be dead. Subil, you opened the door, and now you're here. Your hands are wrapped around Kylan and Jules's wrists, keeping the pistols in place. And past both of them, on the table, you can see her face. And you can almost feel the way the blade felt in your hand as you carved it free.
Thought I recognized that voice.
What happened?
It's gonna pull the gun, well, with one free hand, because I think you've still got their wrist. Put the gun back in the holster. Your little friend paid us a visit. Can I have my wrist back?
Yeah. Sybil's gonna. Sybil doesn't know what to do. Sybil's just gonna drop to his knees, cover his face, try and figure out what the hell is going on.
I've not loaded my gun. So on the floor is a skin suit of pale ale.
Just the face.
Just the face.
Just her face.
Kylan's gonna sweep it up in that cloth. And with the intent of eventually getting rid of it, but right now just getting it out of sight. And just set it nowhere near the bag.
Mm-hmm. It's warm, even through the cloth.
I don't say anything about that, but do not like it.
As you move, you do see that the rest of the room is normal. The door just hangs open. You can see the rest of the ship beyond. You can even hear the conversation happening at the other end of the corridor as Violet and Moorhead just discuss inane things, their favourite books.
I'm waiting for you to speak, Subil.
I can hear him. I don't even know if it's an it. It's in my head. I'll wake up and I do things that I don't. I didn't do them. But the only thing I have is my head, is my brain, and my body's gone. But I don't even have that. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to do any of this. I didn't ask for any of this. I just wanted to help people, and now it's in my head. I don't know what to do. I can't.
How did you hide it?
I don't know. Weeks. It's been getting worse and worse, but I mean, it's hard to say if it's even weeks after. I don't even know how long anything's been anymore. Apparently it's been months, but to me it's been years, and I've been taken apart and put back together and then thrown back into this world where everyone thinks it's normal and it's not. I don't know how to live in this world with this thing in my head making me do things that I don't know what to do.
Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is see how attached that thing is to this bag, and it's gonna pick up the bag and walk out and try to throw it overboard.
I'm gonna stop you there. Before you even touch it, we're burning the bag. We're not throwing it away. Some poor soul will deal with the bag again. We're burning the bag. We're making it sure it doesn't see anything. It makes sure it never exists.
Okay. I'm amenable to that. And more material over the bag, trying to wrap it up.
You cover it. You layer bag upon anything you find, really, that is large enough to put weight onto it, and fairly quickly and surely it is just covered in everything. It'd be impossible to know there was even a bag under the mass of items at this point if you didn't already know it was there.
I've got an incinerator.
It's a steamboat.
Yep, let's do it. Simple.
Right. I'm concerned about you holding it, and it's just gonna pick up the bundle of shit themselves. The face too.
So, what?
Just gonna.
Why didn't you tell us?
Do you believe me, Jules? I said that there was something in my head telling me to do things, and that. Did you even want to?
Subil, I've just found one of my closest friends' face in your bag. So, I'm struggling to believe you now.
Good.
But I do believe you. Because I've seen some weird shit. You're not alone. But why did you hide it?
Let's just burn the thing, and then I'll try and...
Why did you hide it? What else are you hiding?
I don't know. Jules, I don't know. I don't know what I know, and I don't know what I don't, okay? I don't know what secrets I have. I don't know what I don't. My mind isn't my own anymore. I could be hiding things from you, and I don't even know it. I didn't know what was in the bag. I didn't know. I just knew it was bad. That's all. I get a feeling, I get a voice, and I just didn't want anyone to get hurt. I didn't know what was in the bag. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Violet.
Sorry, no, you can't. That's not an answer. You're gonna have to be locked up somehow.
You can hear their voices traveling down the corridor. It's hard not to.
Yeah, I guess at this point I've just stopped all conversation with Jacob and I'm just there, just like intensely listening.
Step 1, we try to burn this thing. Step 2, until we figure this out, Subil, not alone. Not once. I think that's fair. I'm sorry. Come on, we could go in circles all day. The first thing we need to figure out is if this thing can die.
Yeah. So you're gonna have the privilege of doing it with us. So you can really say goodbye to this shit stern shadow thing.
Where's the incinerator?
This way. We'll lead you down into, presumably, the bowels of the ship.
Mm-hmm. You make your way down, and again, Violet, at this point, you can actually see them. They come out of the kind of turning they originally went down, both Subil, Kylan, and Jules. And you watch them walk across the corridor. Kylan opens a small door, and they lead the way down. You can again hear the footsteps.
Always got my hand on my gun, by the way.
Mm-hmm. As you see them go, even more head turns to you. You should probably see what's happening.
Yeah, I probably should. Are you okay to watch them?
Of course.
Okay, and I'll just kind of I'll quickly check on Sam, make sure he's alright, and then I will go after the other three.
You pick yourself up and can already hear Moorhead just turning to Sam. Right. Let's play a hand, you and me, eh? And he starts just rapidly doling cards out as you march straight down the corridor and loop around. As you make your way down the stairs, loop up behind Kylan, Subil, and Jules, you find the three of them stood in the center of the ship's engine, or just in front of the furnace. You feel the heat radiating through the room, and this intense warmth rushing up to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
The three of you, you stand just in front of it. The grate into the furnace already swung open. A large pile of coals to your right, shovel implanted within them. Excuse me. And even in front of this intense heat, you still feel slightly chilled.
Kylan's not going to waste any time. They're going to try to whoop right into the incinerator, provided nothing stops them.
Sybil's just gonna, out of just instinct, just reach and grab it and, like, I don't know, block the incinerator for the bag.
You know, I'm going to be there with my gun, and I am going to push you around like you are my hostage.
I mean, I don't. Subil is
Jules wouldn't do anything crazy, but she's suddenly sobered up for a reason.
I will ask in that case for an opposed, let's say, grappling check between the two of you. Billy,
Mm-hmm.
can I ask first what your acting value for grappling is? It's speed if you don't have it.
It will be. That's going to be a 1.
Quadruple it.
Okay, it's going to be a 4.
And just make the check. Jules?
9.
Subil?
Can I chain? I was going to say, can I cheat it?
You can cheat after both parties have flipped.
Flipped. My total is 6.
Flip another card. as you're being assisted.
Oh God. Okay, that's a 5 total.
Then I don't have to cheat. I was
No.
going to cheat.
You twist Subil in place, and as you do, they fight you. First, an arm snaps out to grab yours with a rather astounding level of speed. Thankfully, you're stronger. You keep being able to just shift him along as another hand snaps to your other one. Again, you don't see him move, you just feel his touch. You continue to just barrel him around, using the strength of your body to push Subil in the right direction. And as you look him dead in the eyes, you see something else staring back. You see his lips twisted into a smile.
Well, luckily, Subil, you're gonna see it happen, along with that shadow thing in your fucking head, which I can see. So I'm going to grapple Subil to the floor once we make it into the room, with his arms around his back, and I'm gonna lift his head up so he's constantly staring at that fire.
Kylan's gonna make another go for the fire with the package, as it were.
You, with Subil incapacitated, you kind of grip the bag, turn to the flames, and look back at them. And as you're looking back at them, you look past them and see just stood on the stairwell watching Violet.
Very much a confused look on her face. Yeah.
Just
like,
You
nods.
walked in like, what the fuck's happening?
literally,
Taking
she's
this
got
back
that
so
look
seriously.
of literally, like, it is just like the look of what the fuck is going on. Yeah, you can tell she's trying to say something, but she's very much just like,
Kylan's gonna go stay back.
kind of, yeah, she'll stay on the stairs. You know, just be like,
It's all
In
right.
which case,
And going
Burn
to
the bag.
yeet it into the fire, hopefully. I keep saying hopefully because I don't trust like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna burn.
you twist and fling the bag into the flames as the various gouts of fire reach out and embrace the bag, pulling it directly into, and you just watch it disappear, turn to black, slowly start to crackle. The furnace devours the bag. There is the scent of burning flesh rolling off from the furnace.
Oh, Erna's gonna ask me about that later.
It stinks.
I try not to throw up. It's, yeah.
Kylan,
It's
can you open
tough.
the window, please?
Not a
Jewel.
window in here.
As
I'm
you're
sorry.
as you're holding Subil by the hair, literally running your fingers through his hair to keep his head pointed at the flames, you just feel it move beneath your grip. You can almost hear his bones popping and cracking. And just through the hair, you feel fingers start to intertwine with your own. Can you make me a willpower check, please? 12 joules.
Yeah, I can. I don't know if I want to though. Okay, so that's a 10, but I would like to cheat, please.
Okay.
I would like to use my So if it's 12, willpower. I'm going to use my 10 then. And that should get me to 14. Yeah.
You hold back the revulsion and surprise of the sensation and very rapidly bring your eyes down to see nothing more than Sybil's black matted hair waiting for you. There's nothing there but the sensation of skin on yours. And his body goes limp. Sybil, you feel it burn. You don't smell it burn. You don't see it burn. You feel it burn. As if they're taking a part of you and destroying it in front of your eyes. And what's, I imagine, scares you more than anything else is the profound feeling of loss. And the whisper in your ear, they will take everything from you. I am all you need. Let us.
You're just too quiet, Ben.
Sorry.
Your sensitivity. Every so often a word comes through and I scare.
I'm hearing it all and it's not pleasant.
If that's any better. Thank you very much. I'll start from the top.
Oh no.
They will take everything from you. I am all you need. For us, we can be so much more than them. Sybil. We are their beginnings. We are their end. We will be their everything. Fight it. Don't. It doesn't matter. You and I wear the same crown yet. Remember this feeling, Sybil. Watch as they take from us. Again, silent. And a feeling of weight passing from your shoulders.
Kylan's going to try and swing the grate closed. For the take the poker or whatever and swing it closed and latch it.
Just clangs into place and clicks quite happily. The room is warm, swelteringly so.
Let's
it's
go.
Almost.
Sybil's gonna just, presumably Jules is let go by this point, or is Jules still holding me by? Holding me.
I'm still holding you there until you speak.
I'm not speaking. Subil is just dead silent, and he's just limp. It's not even trying. It's just feels defeated, and everything in his physical form is showing that right now.
Subil, I'm gonna let you go now. But if you try and kill me, I will shoot you. Is that fair?
No response.
Is that fair?
Still nothing. Just staring at the ground, staring at the fire, whatever he's looking at the moment. Staring. He's not saying anything. He doesn't even hear Jules.
I'm actually going to take this as a good sign that whatever the hell's inside of him took some sort of hit by us burning that thing.
I mean, I have no idea what's going on, but maybe pointing a gun in his face.
Oh my god, Violet! When did you turn up? Holy shit!
About like a minute before you threw the bag in, and I have so many questions. But
Did you see the possession thing? That was weird.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. So maybe we just don't point guns in people.
I still don't.
Maybe we just don't point guns in people's faces. We wait till whatever. Maybe he's just drank too much, but maybe we just give him time. Because, you know.
Well, he did have a face of one of my friends in his bag.
He had a what now?
A face. As in.
Oh, come on, we don't need to talk about this in the boiler room. Come on, go. And is gonna kind of, I think, not necessarily super rough, but kind of manhandle Subil up, like arms under the armpits, and just. If you want me to make a check, I can, but it's just gonna kind of walk him.
No resistance from Subil.
As long as Sybil's happy with it, you pull him to his feet and head to the stairwell. So it's not a long set of stairs before it leads you back to the corridor, assuming that Violet will turn and head up herself or let you pass.
No, I'll. I forgot how words work. That's how traumatized Violet is right now. Hold on, rebooting the system. There we go. Yeah, I'll let them. I'll kind of go up first. I don't want to be behind. No. Okay, they'll go up first. I'll be behind them because I'm scared to be behind. I think at this point she's scared to be behind all of them. Because again, she only heard, I don't know how much she heard from the room, but she's seen enough to be like, maybe don't trust these people because they could turn on you and kill you. And one's had a face in their bag, so she's definitely just going to let them pass and then walk behind them.
Quick point of order. You can say yes or no, no problem, but as this is the boiler room, I presume we normally would not lock it even if there is a lock, but is there a lock?
Not really. You can make one, by the equivalent of which I mean you can take a chair and wedge it under the door on the other side, so at least you'd know if anyone went in or out.
I'll do that, I guess, kind of like really clumsily, because I thread Subil under one side and then just like grab a chair and just shove it. But it's more worried about someone coming in from the front than out, but you know, it's information one way or another. So, and then just back up.
Easily done.
Come on. Let's go sit down, have a drink or not, and we'll figure it out.
I would very much like an explanation to all of this because I am very confused right now.
Don't worry. I'm gonna get one.
Good.
So your choices are the room with Jacob Moorhen and Sam in it, or one of our bedrooms. I don't have a preference, but I figure you might.
You will have to go through the room with Jacob and Sam in it to get to the bedrooms.
That's fine. This is fine.
Burning building. This is fine.
Just gonna look at Jules.
Storage room?
Well, I'm not going back in there right now.
No, that's
If
fair.
we can ask Jacob to take Sam on a walk.
They seem to be Yeah, they seemed to be somewhat friendly when I left them, so maybe.
Violet,
Hmm?
could you go ask them that before I come in with Sybil in my arms catatonic, please?
Yep, of course. And I'll just speed walk to where Jacob and Sam are, and kind of go over it. And
You rush into the room, or more precisely, aggressively step into the room, and find Jacob sat across from Sam, with his head mock in his hands. I just don't know how you've done it. It's 3 games in a row. I genuinely have no idea. And Sam just sat there looking very pleased with himself. Going, you're just playing it wrong. Clearly, oh, hello.
I kind of put on a fake smile and like give Sam like a massive thumbs up, going, "See, this is why we are adopted sibling. This is why you're my brother now, because you're amazing." And then I'll kind of turn to Jacob and still smiling, but I really hope he can see the panic in my eyes and just be like, "I need you to," and say quietly, to be like, "I need you to take Sam out of the room for a few minutes, please. This is, please, I can explain some of it later, just please."
He, without saying a word, he just picks himself up and goes, "Sam, I'm hoping we're outside at this point. What do you know of star signs?" It's like, let me show you some things. Come on. And he just kind of reaches over, picks Sam up bodily, and just kind of twists him around, grabs him around the chest as if hugging him, and walks out of the room, just talking as he goes. Like,
yeah.
There are old sailors that would navigate through these grand seas by nothing but the stars alone, Sam. Let me show you exactly how they did that. This entire conversation is going to end horrendously if we're underground, though, so I'll warn you now. And Sam's just quite happily just bobbing along in the makeshift papoose, as it were, as they walk out of the room. From Kylan, Sybil, and Jules' perspective, you see Moorhen step out front of that room onto the stairwell. His eyes very briefly pass over to you. His facial expression doesn't change. The string of words don't end. And he just keeps Sam's focus up and up, out, as he's kind of expectantly hoping to see the stars at any moment, giving you a clear run into the living room.
And for Kylan's part, once they've got the clear and they've started walking them in, Kylan's mumbling quietly to Sybil, just like, "We'll get it sorted, we'll get it figured out. If you wanted to use a fake name, you should have told your friends." Just kind of keeping it a level of engagement there, even though he's just catatonic. I mean, really, John's a terrible fake name, and just that kind of thing as they're leading them into there, and just plop him down on one of the chairs. Not made for manual labor, I don't think.
First off, I want to apologize, Sybil, because while we were doing all this stuff to save Sam and to help Sam, we never stopped to help you at all. So I want to apologize.
So he's just going to cut him off and say, "Please don't say sorry. Your friend's face was in my bag. Just be angry. Just, I don't need your pity. I just want this out of my head." He's going to go back into just staring down at the floor.
And that's where I was going to lead to. So, because we haven't actually taken time into helping you, I have noticed the weird dots around your face. I've got a suspicion that's not human. So, we should have probably looked into it earlier. What any idea of
When you say
this
not
affecting
human,
you?
what do you mean?
Well,
Yeah, I'm still somewhat confused
So-
about everything. I mean, what do you mean about saving
let's
Sam? I thought he was...
let's run back. So Sam, lovely kid, we're helping him to get safety because Inquisition. But along the way, we've been dealing with some difficult effects. For example, Violet, on that ship, you experienced something weird.
Yeah, yes, I did.
In some way, psychologically, and sometimes a little bit physically, manipulate and hurt you.
Well, if you count seeing your parents get shot in front of you, manipulating you, yeah, sure.
That's a great example. So, that kind of stuff happens. Subil, for example, seems to be the main brunt of it. What I've heard is that he has had 11 years of torture from this thing.
Yeah.
So, no wonder is he scared.
Torture is a word for it. When we started, there was a different group of us. We were just helping Sam. We were just helping some of them, more of them, just trying to get out of the country, just trying to do some good. And then, I don't know, at some point, there was just this thing. And the first time I saw it, I thought it was in my head. I thought it was all in my head. And I thought, hey, if there's anything that I've got, it's my brain. And so it's all in my head, it's all fake. And so I turned and I looked at that creature, and the next, well, that's all fuzzy really, because all I remember is years of it taking me apart, piece by piece. I don't even know what pieces it was. It was just chunks and putting it back together, and I don't even know why. It might have been for its own twisted entertainment or pleasure, I don't know, but there is no torture that the Inquisitions or the Warden or Justicar fucking Canehost could bestow that even comes close to that.
About Morhen. He's an alchemist. I don't know anything about this, but do you think he might?
Channeling and alchemy are two very different disciplines. But
Well, we can't ask the kid. That wouldn't work well.
Actually, I was thinking of asking the kid, because out of everyone I've ever met, this kid has more control over channeling than I've ever seen. And I've seen some basic channelers. Go on.
I was going to say, I may be new to the group, but asking a kid to deal with something that apparently has spent years ripping and putting back together Subil, why is he a child, for God's sake?
I don't know. Sam was brought to us. He was brought to me, and I was to guide the group, and we were going to get out of the country. It was a routine, just get out. And he wouldn't speak.
Ago?
He wouldn't even say. This was weeks, months. I don't even know anymore. I don't know. But we can't ask him. The others, he.
Who else do we have?
Can ask Erna if she knows any channelers. It's not exactly it's not common in any case, from what I understand, but it's certainly not the most uncommon in the smuggling ring. I mean, not that I know for sure, but I'm sure we've encountered some. I could ask. It wouldn't hurt to ask, and then we're not getting a child involved.
I've got a feeling somehow this kid is the center of it. It's like a storm, and that kid is the eye of it. It's like the only place safe enough is in hands width apart from them. But as soon as you're anywhere else, you're in the worst of it.
How, have you met any other channelers?
Yes.
Does it always get cold like that?
It always gets cold when it is somewhere nearby.
Now, out of character briefly, it also got cold when Sam did his thing, right?
Yeah, ran through the wall.
So that's just... Okay. I think Kai goes, okay, but with Sam it did it as well, so maybe that's just magic. Has this been happening since before Sam? No.
No.
Started with Sam.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, you said you were traveling with others. This thing, whatever it is, did they kill them, or was that? I mean,
well, no, that was the Inquisition's fault. Actually, that was that was the Inquisition's fault.
So I'm just trying to wrap my head around all of this.
So far, I've not seen it kill friends. It has looked like friends. It had controlled people, but so far it is not outright. Just came. I don't know. It preys on the weak, and I think it likes the torture more than the killing.
Is it maybe using Sam's magic?
The only time where we've ever really felt safe is from around Sam. There was once when he couldn't help us. I don't know how Sam is involved in this. I don't know if he draws it or if he prevents it. I don't know if he causes it or if he's the only one keeping me still here in any respect. I don't know. But how exactly do you intend to ask a child questions about things that we don't even understand or comprehend?
Maybe someone he trusts. Not pointing fingers, not saying anything to do with him, because he's a kid and goodness knows what is going on, and we don't want him to think we don't want him to think something untrue, but maybe you tell him that something scary happened to you and ask him if anything scary's ever happened to him.
Kylan, about a few days ago, a week ago, again, I don't know how long anything is anymore. The only two people that kid ever grew a true attachment to, a father figure or a mother figure or whatever, the mum's gone and the dad is gone. They're gone. And I was the weird uncle, I guess, but he is not. I don't know.
Think about it. You don't want to push him too hard, especially because he's got magic. And as a young channeler, even if he's got all that control, goodness knows what that means he can do. On accident. I don't think that kid would hurt a fly on purpose, but I've only known him for 12 hours?
You're right. You're right, it's never hurt anything on purpose. And it seems like this kid it has only done good so far. I don't know.
I don't want to get him wrapped up in it any more than you do. But if there's a very subtle, very kind way to figure out if he knows anything, I'm sure one of you can figure it out. I'm not trying to push it off on you, but I barely know the kid.
Yeah, I mean, I've only known the kid for a few weeks.
Longer than me.
But I'll do my best. My other issue is that face thing. Can I do something about it? Can I sew? Can I just... What? Can I'm gonna try and pry the stones. Does it hurt? I just want to know what it does.
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Are you touching them?
My main thing is I'm kind of examining it and seeing, because you said it in between skins is not blood or whatever, it's something else.
You kind of lean in as close as you can. And around the stone, it's as if the skin has kind of grown over it. Like not too dissimilar to a scab. But it's black obsidian. You can see the edges to it. You get the sensation if you were to reach out and touch it, it could cut you. And in the cracks between, there is just nothing. There should be connective tissue, there should be something. It's almost as if, should you have the will, you could literally place something between the cracks and keep going. It is an absence of matter.
I will ask Erna if she knows any channelers that we could ask about something delicate. No guarantee, but I would trust our network.
I think we need to work on dealing with this before not only does it get worse, or it somehow gets into that kid's head, my head, or any of these people on our travels. We just need to find maybe not a fix to it, but at least a block for just a moment. Are you okay with doing that, Subil?
Begging you for that. Please. Just anything.
We could take turns staying with you so you're not alone, but until we figure this out, I don't think we should be.
Maybe some kind of restraints might be a good idea too.
At night, in case someone doesn't wake up when they ought to.
Whenever there's not someone keeping an eye on me, I guess.
I don't know how you all know each other, but should we be telling Juliana about this or no?
Don't know her well enough. So far, she has been Inquisition. She stuck her neck out for us. So I don't know. I don't know if she's willing to in for a penny, in for a pound, or that's gonna tip the scale.
I'll talk to Juliana. I think she needs to know.
And I think it does need to come from you.
I agree. I'll talk to her tonight.
Okay.
I'll talk a little bit with Sam and the information we can get from Sam for anything.
Okay.
That's good.
Violet.
I guess checking on Juliana and seeing if she's enjoying the trip is not going to be very worthwhile since we're about to drop a bombshell on her. So
Yeah.
I'll just stay here with Violet, I think.
In which
I was
case,
going to say, Violet,
Yeah.
what? You had some stuff on the boat, right? Like some vision or an attack from this ancestral annoyance.
It's more like a vision and attack, but yeah.
Knowing that you have dealt with that, we are probably going to deal with more of that. So I just want you to be aware that this is real. Like, I know it may seem like a vision, but it will hurt you. It's like you being put in a nightmare, a living nightmare. But you do a lot better when you're with someone else.
I mean, I'm already.
Sorry, Violet.
I was saying, I'm already kind of on the boat, and I don't really have anywhere else to go. I mean, I did have a gig in.
The boat's name is the Icarus.
The Icarus. Ah, really hope that's not a foreshadowing or something.
Neither
That's
do I.
fantastic.
It's okay. But like, well, yeah, I'm already here, and the last proper job I have was in Southerd, but we all kind of know what went down there, and I really hope that you guys don't have anything to do with that, but I have somewhat suspicions after this conversation. Anyway, well, forget about that. I've got nowhere else to go, so I guess gonna have to get used to the fact that these weird things happen and I could get injured by visions, so oh well, could make a great song one day, never know.
Let's have a drink then, Violet,
Yeah.
and if you two would want to
Yes.
send Jacob in, I delight in being a third wheel.
Right.
We were just getting to know each other, oh my god.
I know.
I choked myself. That's what I get for being a dickhead.
Yeah.
at which point then, Kylan and Violet, you settle into the chairs and just going to sit back for a moment as Subil, yourself and Jules begin to make your way out onto the upper deck. I get the feeling, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Jules, that you'll be keeping a fairly weather eye on Subil with every step. Subil, you lead the way, or more kind of pushed to lead the way. You step up, leaving behind the kind of warm enclosure of the living space, passing up into the cool air of the, well, early evening. Well, later than that, even at this point, as you look up and see the darkness of the skies above starting to roll, numerous dots breaking the canvas of stars. You can hear the low voice of Jacob as he just leans over the edge of the ship, Sam next to him, describing different patterns in the cosmos. You can see Erna to the side, leaning over and just kind of listening to them as the wheel hangs loosely between her elbows. She just keeps the ship going across. And on the far end of the ship, silently watching Jacob, you see the silhouette of Juliana against the night. Her thumb just playing over a small ring on her that's found its way back onto her finger. As the two of you stand there in the cool night air, and downstairs, kind of Violet, share a drink. The discomfort of not particularly knowing what comes next weighs heavily on the ship. as the Icarus continues its journey. Your next destination, the small trading port known only as the Drop. And that is where we will end for this evening.
Oh, oh my god.
This is fine. Everything.
This is fine.
It went from like 0 to 100 real quick.
Oh man. First half, very different vibe to second half.
Yeah.
Oh, let's play a drinking game. Ooh, tell me a secret hee. Oh god, we're going to die.
Oh my god.
Burn the bag!
And the face. Oh man.
Ooh.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, or at least I hope we did. God, I did.
Yeah, I can tell.
Who knows?
I've drunk a whole bottle of wine just because of this last half session, so.
Oh, good. As long as you started in the break, I'm going to click my job as done for the day.
Yeah, it was full, and now it's just, I'm on the last little bit.
It was full, now it's empty.
Well, before we say goodbye for tonight and see you next time, we'll do one more lap around the block, as it were, and say goodbye to everyone individually. And let's reverse from where we started and begin with Holly.
Oh god, okay. Hello, I'm Holly. I played Violet this evening. She's regretting stowawaying on that boat. She should have just stayed in Southset. If you're interested, you can find me at Holly Ida Healy on Instagram. Maybe one day I'll post music, but for the foreseeable future, I'll be posting behind the scenes on theatre work, gig work, and festival work, because that's what I do now, apparently. So, don't know how that happened. It's
a cool
fun.
thing to do.
It is a cool thing to do. But yeah, I don't know anymore. I'm as confused as Violet is now, so this is going to be a fun season.
I can really only hope so. Thank you very much, Holly. CJ, take the
Hi
wheel.
everyone. I'm CJ Starry. You can find me on CJ Starry at X, where you can find my pin posts, which has my schedule, and therefore I don't have to recite it. I have been playing Kylan, they, them. My pronouns are also they, them. They're... Yep. This sure is happening. And they sure are present for it, and that's about where we've got. So I can't wait to see what happens in 3 weeks' time with our dear companions. This got chaotic real fast.
There's truth in that. Billy.
I am Billy. I am also Subil. I am also John. I survived the session, just about. We'll find out if that happens next week. I'm not really on social media at the moment, so you can't really find me anywhere except here. Not next week, in 3 weeks' time. I keep forgetting that. And yeah, as is tradition, if you know, you know. I am currently working on a world-building project. One day
You
it will
are
be ready.
actually.
Yeah, I am, and I've got
First
a
I'm
name
proud of it.
for it, and yeah,
I had
there
no
is
idea.
progress. So maybe if you come back next week, I'll have more news on it. Ooh. Anyway, that's me.
Ooh. Thank you very much, Billy. And we started with you, so we'll finish with you, Max.
Hi, I'm Max. You'll find me on Instagram at MaxYallet. I played Jules, a nervous wreck. And yeah, I've been really loving playing with all these guys and just their characters. I love the intertwine of like our personalities, and it's looking like a knit of crazy, fucked up people, but I love it.
Welcome to the Big Brother house.
Please do not. Wait, we've already been swearing. Oh well.
Yeah. Please swear more. Thank you very much. And I have been, as I always am, Ben. You can find me anywhere and occasionally everywhere, even though I don't ever post, at Try Again Then, wherever you would like to look. When I'm not here, I'm a writer and project manager for Modifius. I make cool things occasionally, and I try to write them more often. And when I'm not doing that, I'm here. And I'll leave you with only a singular thought, which is, remember everyone, of all the cards to not pull, It's the Black Joker.
Yeah.
Good night, good morning, good afternoon. We'll see you next time.
See you
Bye-bye.
next time.
Bye-bye.